During the past 10 weeks, I have made some visible progress. From the first writing assignments to the case study, I improved my score by 5 points. In the first 2 weeks, I couldn't engage in class discussion effectively because I didn't know where to find the reading materials. And however, after fixing that problem and preparing perfectly, I finally scored 14 out of 15 in participation, which made me so proud of myself. So let's take a look at the first feedback that I got from the video. Mary said you mentioned that procrastination is one of your biggest weaknesses. What are some strengths to your personality? I realized that I might picture myself too negatively in that video. A reason for that is growing up in a traditional Chinese family. Being asked to be rigorous, humble, made me self-reflection open. And these are the things that grew up with me and were integrated into my growing background. And thus, I always focus on my disadvantages and the space can be improved. However, in the long term, those can create mental cues and I might fall into disruptive emotions. In the blog post assignment after that, I learned that disruptive emotions are exactly what we need to avoid, which can trap us and make us too upset to carry out a task in the future career. At the same time, the I value sheet assists me to recognize myself, personalities, and others. There is no hierarchy of personality traits. They are the result of different cultures, upbringings, and many other factors which makes everyone different. So the diversity of personality provided the basis for better understanding the later course about business, ethics, and cultural humility. The last important feedback that I got from Mary is you lack details on how you will be measuring the success of your solution. So not only in this course, but also other courses in this semester, I realized that quantization is a very critical thing in business. Being quantifiable is a way to measure whether something effective or not. So I think the most valuable thing about this course and the impact it had on me was the analysis tools and the process of analyzing each of the brilliant cases. Analysis tools like PAST, which is a management technique that allows a company to examine important external elements that affect its operations in order to improve its market competitiveness. I would like to share a case that impressed me here, the IKEA. I used to think there was always the best solution to everything that would solve the problem once and for all. This case reminded me that not everything has a so-called right solution. So because the causes of a dilemma are complex and the result from multiple factors, so the most appropriate solution at that time may be the result of multiple approaches balancing or constraining each other with trade-offs. I think this kind of thinking will have a big impact on the way of thinking in the future. So in terms of IKEA's management, I like their new CEO's 10 jobs in 10 years mission, which provides quantifiable task goals and their time limits. This series of tasks focusing on products, customers, suppliers, and employees, and provided a map that identified the situation, specific goals, and current tasks, which is a perfect case of the leadership of sense-making. So we must admit that it is impossible to be perfect as human beings, and it is the cooperation of imperfect individuals that can produce double-win results, just like cultural humility. We do not need to be ashamed of our shortcomings later in our careers at all, but we also need to embrace the differences among us. Learning is infinite. In my future career, I need to always be aware that none of us are perfect. Everyone needs the input and leadership of others. So stay hungry, stay foolish.